Welcome to the Skilled Trades Rescue podcast. And today I have an amazing guest on. We've been connecting off and on over LinkedIn and other applications. I've got Fred Collins on the line. He's a long-term technician. He's been out in the field for a long time. In this podcast series, we are talking about or talking with real people working in skilled trades, and we want to get their stories out there because this type of thing just does not get covered. And we want to let people know that there's an amazing world in skilled trades out there if you're interested in pursuing it, and we're going to try to give you some inside scoops today. So Fred, how you doing, man?
Oh, doing good.
Awesome. So, gosh, I was looking at your profile. I've looked at it before on LinkedIn, and man, you've been around a long time, huh?
Yeah, I've been in the business, I guess, about 39 years.
And you're in the greater New Orleans area.
Correct.
Okay. So all told, how many years you got in? I'm adding this up over, gosh, you're going probably on your 40th year now, right?
Yeah, about 39 years.
Yeah, wow. Okay. Well, I have a feeling that the audience out there, both technicians that are practicing now and ones that are perhaps interested in getting into skilled trades, would love to hear from you. So, Fred, just give the audience sort of a synopsis on your career and where you started and how you got to where you are today in skilled trades.
Well, I went to a vocational school while I was in high school, and then out of the vocational school, I went into residential and light commercial, and then moved into heavy commercial and industrial as the years went by.
Okay. So, where you're working with Simco now? Tell us about what you're doing there.
It's mainly ammonia refrigeration, but we do quite a bit of halocarbon work also. All industrial work. It's industrial plants, food process, and cold storage equipment.
Okay. So you're a service contractor. Or you work for a service contractor. So you have a series of clients that they need refrigeration work done, and you go out and take care of them, correct?
That is correct. Now, we do manufacture our own equipment. You know, we use other brand name, Frick or whatever, equipment that but we'll put a package together using other people's equipment.
Okay. And then, so you're doing the warranty work, and you're going out there and you service the customer through the warranty, and then you're probably doing, if you can, you're doing maintenance contracts on the stuff you're selling.
That is correct.
Okay. So tell me about, what's a day in the life for Fred? Like, so you're a supervisor, is that correct, at Simco? So what exactly do you do?
Well, I'm a working supervisor, so I'm still on my tools. So just like today, I went and added vibration accelerometers to a couple of Frick packages and activated that stuff in the HD panel. The beginning part of the week, I was at a chicken plant replacing a compressor, a nice size Frick compressor with a 500 horse motor. So we do some nice size work.
Yeah, it sure sounds like it. So what are some of the challenges that you're running into nowadays in in refrigeration in particular, as being one of the skilled trades? Like, what are some of the challenges that you're seeing evolve now that you've been in it for a while? What's the latest challenge going on in the skilled trade world, in your opinion?
I believe, well, as of right now, it's acquiring parts and pieces. I mean, I think that's everybody's headache right now. But there is a manpower shortage, so I mean, I guess it's good for the people that are working in the field. There's plenty, there's no problem getting your time in, but there is definitely a labor shortage. But I believe that the challenges for the working technician are less now than there used to be. Now with the advent of smartphones and computers, it's a lot less challenging than it used to be.
Yeah, that's right. Because and a lot of the generation now probably, well, they don't have a concept of how it was if you wanted to get an operating manual on a piece of equipment or service maintenance checklist for a piece of equipment. We would have to call the manufacturer, and back in the old days, they'd have to mail it to you. And then we went through the fax machine craze. And the technicians nowadays, they have literally the whole world in their back pocket.
And that is correct. It makes it much easier. I spent many a days waiting by a fax machine.
Yeah, no kidding. And that thermal paper you put up in the window that turns black after you leave it up there for a while.
Yeah, it's only good for a few days.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. So how's things going in New Orleans? So obviously supply chain issues are a problem. Are things coming back now? Like, what are your customers doing? Are they willing to spend money now on refrigeration equipment? What's going on are things growing? Are service contractors, assuming that they can find the labor, they're doing pretty well, or what?
I believe they're doing well, and customers are when things become available, they mine up all they can. So they're really making the matters worse, for other people. But when parts and pieces, if there's a long lead time, they order extra. They don't, they don't order more than what they need.
Right. So how big is your shop? How many technicians do you have running at Simco?
Well, we have one main office in the U.S. We have some satellite offices, but I believe we up to close to 70 technicians.
Okay.
Now that's for the whole U.S.
Okay. And you're doing mostly commercial industrial then, right?
It's all industrial, yes.
Okay. Now, are you guys hiring? It sounds like you probably are. If you can find technicians, are you hiring guys up as quick as you can get them?
In different parts of the country, yes. There's 3 of us that work in Louisiana, and so they're not looking for anybody in Louisiana, but in other parts of the country, they are always hiring, yes.
Yeah. And do you guys only hire people with experience, or do you guys look for new blood and bring them up? What does Simco like to do on that front?
Mostly somebody with experience. Now, they may not have ammonia experience, but somebody, because we're all scattered about, it's hard to have a good mentor locally. So
right.
They have hired some apprentices, but they steer toward experienced people.
Okay. Now, when you say experienced people, so how many years of experience do you guys require to seriously consider a candidate for your commercial industrial work? Hey guys, quick announcement. If you have not stopped into our website at skilledtraderescue.com, please do that. On the home page here, you will see that we have the Join the Movement email list. If you haven't signed up, please consider doing that. We have some amazing guests lined up for the podcast. I'm going to be getting the stories out of successful technicians and business owners in skilled trades. These are not just HVAC people. These are going to be from across the skilled trade spectrum. And my hope is that I'm going to be able to draw out of these people the things that have worked in their careers amazingly well, and the things that if they had a chance to talk to their younger self, what they would tell them not to do. So I want to share all that stuff with you. And if you sign up, you're going to be the first to know when we drop those new podcast episodes. Also, coming soon, we have the BEST workshop. It's a 5-day automated email workshop. However, you're going to give content to us through that workshop. You're going to get one-on-one feedback from our instructors, and we're looking to better your career. I've been teaching the BEST process for many, many years, about 2 decades, one-on-one, and I'm going to be trying to do that to the masses through this workshop. It's totally free. All you got to do is sign up, and as soon as you do that, you'll get alerts on your email as soon as these new podcasts come in, as well as the BEST workshop. So if you check it out, I will put a link to the website on the show notes for this episode today. So check it out.
I really, it really depends, but, if they got some good commercial refrigeration experience, 5 or 7 years, that would be a good number.
Okay. And do the technicians that end up working for you, I know you've been there a long time, do you guys have pretty good retention as far as technicians staying with your firm?
The ones who, I guess it's a mixed bag. We do have a little bit of turnover in different parts of the country. And I don't know what the problem is in other parts. Around the South, everybody seems to have been there a while. Mm-hmm. So, but they do have a turnover in other parts of the country.
Yeah.
And I believe it's because there's just, if I had to put my finger on it, it's other companies stealing people away.
Yeah, I don't know how it is out there, but in the Northwest out here, pretty regularly, if they can get a technician that's got any experience, I'm seeing these ads, on these employment sites. Their companies are offering, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 signing bonuses, just to pick off some good technicians from some of the competitors.
Yes, I've had a few of those calls myself.
I'll bet. Yeah. Well, cool. So, what are some of the, talking to the audience out there now, what are some of the characteristics and the habits you think, Fred, that can make somebody like what are the characteristics of a successful refrigeration technician these days? What are some of the top 3 things that habits that these new technicians coming up, if they have those habits, they'll move up quickly?
I believe the number one thing is read up on the equipment that you're going to be working on. It's so easy to download stuff nowadays, but read the manuals and get familiar with it. You're not going to learn it all, but when something happens, you're going to remember, oh, I just read something about that, and you can go back and look at it. I believe, reading up on something ahead of time and then taking notes. I keep a journal, a calendar for every year, and I write down a brief description of what I've done that day and where I've done it. And it's a good reference for years to come. When you come across something, you can go back. You may not have all the details, but it'll jog your memory of what happened. So I really encourage people to do that.
Anything else?
No, that's probably about it. That's 2 good things.
Okay. Now, one of the things that I've been talking about a lot, Fred, is the challenges that, you touched on this a few minutes ago, the challenges that these contractors, employers are having because of the labor shortage right now. So what are some of the things, do you have any ideas on how we can encourage the next generation that's going to be replacing us old guys eventually? What do you think? Do you have any ideas on how we can solve this problem, or something everybody could do?
If really the schools, definitely no later than high school. Somehow we got to get to these kids because they don't know what we do. They don't realize we refrigerate everything. They just don't understand it, and they don't realize the career that they could have.
Right. Right.
I mean, when I was in high school, I was able to go to trade school half a day and high school half a day.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that it would be nice for those type of programs to come back.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's how I ended up in refrigeration was through a high school trade shop class. you know,
Right.
and it's missing. That it's sort of that whole thing has kind of disappeared, and I think it needs to make a comeback. But I agree with you, getting into the high schools and talking to the young folks and telling them that, college is not the only option for you, right?
That's right.
So what kind of pay out there are you looking at? So let's say, Simcoe finds a guy that's got, 4 or 5 years experience, and he's the guy shows up, right place, right time. You need a technician out there. What, just in general terms, what would you guys start that technician out as far as an hourly wage, roughly?
Well, I really don't have no input or clue as to the because we just so spread out. But
Right.
in the greater New Orleans area, everything is based off union scale. Even though we're a non-union outfit, but our the other things, and the scale is $30, around the $30 an hour range, but most companies pay well over that around here.
Okay. So, give me a better range. What's realistic for a good technician out there?
I believe a good range is the $40 to $45 an hour range.
Okay.
And then plus,
Yeah. Yeah. And then what does that include the benefits, or the benefits would be on top of that?
That's plus your benefits.
Plus your benefits. Okay. So you're probably talking a complete package all in for the employer. You're probably at 50, maybe close to $60 an hour by the time you figure in all the medical and dental and all the retirement and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, easy. Some of the outfits, of course, the bigger the corporation, the more the burden rate would be for a technician, including truck and everything. They knocking on $70.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's amazing. Hey guys, I have an exciting announcement. We just recently made some updates to our 3 most popular online courses at processchilleracademy.com. If you're a technician that's looking to improve your skills a little bit, maybe get some specialized training to be of more value to your customers and your employer, or if you are an employer, a contractor that is looking to augment your existing in-house training with online training that can be accessible from any device, this is a really great opportunity. Just go to processchilleracademy.com, just scroll down on the homepage and you will see the course area. If you go into the course page, you will see that we are currently, for a limited time, we have a promo code of Chiller Pro that will save you 25% on any one of these courses. So I hope you check it out, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in class. So Fred, tell me about, like a memorable career success that is maybe a project or something that, you did a major problem solving and it just made you feel good, a big career success that you can remember. You got to have a ton of them out there. This is like campfire time. Tell the audience a story that, that you want to share.
Well, I spent many days working for one of the manufacturers, and one of the funny stories I like to always tell is one of the major casinos on the Mississippi Gulf Coast ready to open. Well, they was trying to dry out sheetrock, and they sent me out there to start up the chillers. They had 8 chillers on the roof, and I had to break it to them that the chill water was piped in backwards on half of them, so they wasn't going to be starting them. So it's not funny at the time, but it's kind of funny after the fact when you have to put a big job like that on hold.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say funny. But it's one of those you pay me now, pay me later type things.
Right. So what did they do? Did they have to flip the chillers around or something? You can't flip did they have to repipe it, or what did they end up doing to solve that one?
Oh yeah, they cut all the pipe out and repiped it, and it was pretty too, because the way they had it piped, it was nice and pretty. But after the fact, it sure looked like a mess.
Oh man. You got any other ones? What you got any other good ones?
Oh, let's see. We did a lot of good stuff after Hurricane Katrina down in the New Orleans area. Drying out chillers and getting them back up and running, and that was good. To really help the community get stuff back up and running.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember we just shipped a couple little process chillers because I used to manufacture under 100 tons, little package chillers, and I sold this brewery in New Orleans a couple of little 5-ton package chillers that they were using for their brewery. And when Katrina came in, there was a couple of touchdown tornadoes that came in with that. A lot of people don't cover that, but anyway, we shipped them, and maybe 3 months later, after they got them installed, the hurricane hit, and probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 months after the hurricane, after all the dust settled, we got a call from the brewer, and he said it's the weirdest thing. He said the 2 chillers were about 20 feet apart, sitting on the pad, and one of them, not much happened to it. I mean, it was pretty much untouched. I mean, it had a little bit of wind damage, but they were able to get a technician out there and fire it up, and they can at least make beer. And I says, okay, well, what happened to the other one? He says, well, there was a big long pause. And he said, yeah, we didn't know really where it was for quite a while, but about a month later, we got a call from this guy who's about 2 blocks over, and the tornado picked it up and threw it into some dude's backyard, and he had a bunch of spare cars back there, so we didn't really recognize what the heck it was. It was just so random, right?
Well,
it's like you just like shake your head. Well, that's good. So, you know what? Before we wrap things up, Fred, any other things you want to share to the audience out there? What do you think about getting into skilled trades? Do you ever have any regrets for, getting into this, or has it been, I know obviously we've all had challenges in our lives, but, overall, after almost 40 years, I mean, would you do anything different? If so, what would that be?
The only thing I would try to do different is get into the industrial market sooner. But it's been a good career for me and my family. I can't complain. My son's following in my footsteps. I mean, he's been in the business for he's knocking on 20 years already. So we've definitely enjoyed the business, and I like to learn. I love learning. I mean, I'm where I'm at. I've been where I'm at for going on 9 years, but I mean, I just like doing stuff different and learning every day.
Yeah. Now, why would you have went over into industrial sooner? What's driving that?
It's even though it's bigger equipment, it seems to be less backbreaking.
Okay.
You can't lift everything. You got to have chain falls or cranes. not so much relying on your own strength.
Okay. Yeah, because you guys are working on what, is it mostly ammonia?
Mostly ammonia.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, ammonia technicians are, man, technicians in general are hard to come by, but there's a real, for industrial purposes, ammonia is still the stuff. I mean, that you can't beat that for efficiency and reliability, but man, it's like a whole, once this generation like you and me take off, I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, we have very few people under 30 working for us. And
Yeah.
we really don't have a whole lot under 40 working for us.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey guys, just so you know, to the audience out there, what Fred's talking about is when we say ammonia, we're talking about the type of refrigerant that the equipment that Fred works on is running. So you hear about, all these, 134A and old R22 systems and things like that. Ammonia is almost exclusively used in industrial refrigeration. And as I alluded to a minute ago, Fred, his skill set is quite unique. And it typically, if you get into, like he was saying, if you get into industrial, you can usually command top dollar, especially if you have good work habits. Well, does that pretty much sum it up, Fred?
Yep, that's about it.
Yeah. So tell me about your son. Does he work for Simco as well?
Yes, he does. Yep.
Okay.
He seemed to follow me when I made a move.
Okay. So is he one of the three guys there in Louisiana?
Yes, sir. Sure.
Oh, that's cool. Do you guys get to work together very often, or what?
We most of our work we work by ourselves, but when it is a two-man job, we do get to work together on a regular basis.
Oh,
so I really enjoy that.
Does he do what the old man tells him to do?
We argue a little bit.
Yeah, you think? So let me ask you this: what do you? Well, your son, does he approach things being a different generation? Does he approach things differently than you do?
Well, he does, and all of his career has been in industrial refrigeration. So when he got in, so he's actually a better rotating equipment, person than I am.
Okay.
But, his whole career has been in industrial.
Well, yeah, since birth, probably. Did he? When did he start expressing interest in what you do?
I mean, I used to carry him around, when the little bit of side work I did, I carried him around. But a story about him, he was 11 years old when I come home and asked where he was at. He was at the neighbor's house changing a ceiling fan. And, I had to say, what are you, where'd you learn how to do that? What you doing? Oh, just from watching you.
Oh, that's awesome. That must have made you feel about 20 feet tall.
Oh, yeah.
That's great. So did he go to college for a while, or did he just jump right into the trades out of high school like you did?
He jumped right into the trades. I was working for a union, a manufacturer, and we was union. So he went through the union apprenticeship program.
Okay.
And that's really a good start for somebody. I can tell you, you get some good training, and it don't cost you. The only thing you pay for is books, and you got to go on your own time, but you get to work while you're doing it. So that's really a good benefit.
Yeah, that was in New Orleans there. That's your local unions were doing that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a huge takeaway, because that's one of the kind of the hallmarks of advantages of skilled trades. And I hear about this all over the United States, apprenticeship programs. But even if you get somebody that goes to a community college, a lot of those courses are held at night, and you can actually be working in the trade that you're learning and getting paid, right? You don't have to, a lot of times you don't have to take out a big student loan. And I've heard of contractors that'll hire 2-year students and actually reimburse them for their tuition.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
So that is it. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I very much look forward to continuing to connect with you. Please don't hesitate to send me messages on LinkedIn. I'm on there all the time. Or you can reach out to me on my email. I'm at mking@processchilleracademy.com. And until next week, when I give you the next installment, I wish you a great week, and I will connect up with you again soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.